Hi everyone, it's that time of the month again where we're looking at a new art tag based on the Tim Holtz 12 tags of 2015, and of course we're celebrating July. So once again, instead of using the official Ranger tag, I'm going to make my own once more. This time, instead of using craft card, I'm going to use grunge board, which is slightly thicker and a little bit more sturdy to work with. I've also taken a piece of 8x8 patterned backing paper from my stash, and I've also cut out a panel the same size as the tag, because I'm going to stick that over the front to cover the whole thing when I've cut the tag out. Okay, so I'm happy with the sizing of the tag and I'm happy with the sizing of the backing paper, so it's time to glue it all down. And for that I'm going to use matte gel medium from Winsor & Newton, and this is from their Galleria range. And one of the reasons I like using gel medium for this kind of thing is that it does give you a little bit of wiggle room, i.e. you can position your paper, it doesn't grab straight away, and then you do get a nice even glue all the way around. So I'm just pushing down the corners there just to make sure that it's all stuck and there's no bubbles. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a clean up and a bit of a tidy up, and then I'm going to give the tag a bit of a heat blast just to make sure everything's nice and dry before I move on to the next stage. And the next stage is taking out the ink. This time I'm going to use the Ranger Archival ink in Potting Soil, that's the colour, and I'm going to use one of the round distress tools or blending tools to go all the way around the edge just to give it that little bit of a finishing touch. So now that I'm happy with the base tag, out come the stamps, and for this tag I'm going to be using the Indigo Blue Pomp and Pageantry set, which has all sorts of iconical images that are quintessentially English. And from this set I'm going to use the Union flag stamp, which is the main one. I'm going to use a lion, and I'm also going to use the circular medallion with the Union flag in the middle. And to colour the stamp I'm using two Faber-Castell Big Brush Pit pens. I've chosen a red and a blue, which are the colours of the flag, and the Pit pens are India ink, so they are perfect for using on stamps. Because the Pit pens are India ink, you don't have to huff on them like you would do if they were water based, but because it's ingrained in me, you'll probably see me do it anyway. There you go. And because you've seen me do this one the ones with the largest of the stamps, I will speed through the other two because you don't really want to see me do it all over again. The Indigo Blue stamps are deliberately grungy and distressed, so I'm not too bothered if I'm getting an even impression from these pens, or indeed that's one of the reasons why I'm not using an acrylic block or a stamp press to put the stamp down, because I'm not all that bothered. Actually, saying I'm not all that bothered, I did actually give the lion a second impression because I wasn't particularly happy with that blue colour, so I went back in with the red just and went over the top. It did give it a little bit of a 3D kind of effect, but you know, these things happen. Okay, so now that I've done all my 3 bits of stamping, I'm going to cut them out and trim them to the size of the tag, and then position them on the, or just have a little bit of a play and position them on the tag before I stick anything down. and once everything is cut out to around the relative shape that I want it, I am going to just use a scruffing tool just to distress all the edges, including the circle that I've cut out, because I wanted it to be as distressed as the actual stamp itself, just to keep the theme going. And talking of keeping the theme going, obviously I'm going to go around each of the elements that I've cut out with the same ink that I distressed around the edge of the tag, just to keep it all along the same kind of lines and make sure everything ties together. And now it's time to stick everything down. So for this I'm going to be using the heavy structure gel just to butter the backs of each of the pieces of cardstock that have been stamped, just so that it gives me a little bit more control where I want it, and also when it's dry I know that it ain't going to be going anywhere. So I'm just going to give the tag a few minutes just to rest while that heavy gel medium kind of grabs hold and starts to set, and in that period I'm just going to quickly clean off the stamps. Because they're India ink, obviously they will be permanent when dry, so you do need to get to your stamp pretty quickly once you've used it and get them cleaned off as soon as you can, or as soon as convenient, otherwise the ink will dry on them, but it doesn't really affect them too much. Now that the stamps are dry, I'm just going to bring out the heat tool, just give it the tag and the elements a quick heat blast before moving on to the final touches of creating the ribbon. And here you can see I've just got a strip of white satin ribbon, and I'm just using the same two pit pens to add a strip of red and a strip of blue all the way down to colour coordinate the ribbon with the tag colours. And as you can see, I've not been too exact, I've not been too careful when I've been applying the colour, because it is a distress theme tag, so it doesn't matter too much if you've got a few blobs here and there. So I'm just going to punch a quick hole to put the ribbon through, because I'd covered it up, well, I'd actually had a hole in this tag. So I've created the hole with a little hand punch, and I'm just threading the ribbon through just to give it that final touch. And then I'm going to get the food ball pen out, and then I'm going to go around the tag and just give it that finishing touch of the faux stitching, because I don't have a sewing machine, so I've got to give mine pretend ones rather than real ones. And that's about it for this tag. A plain and simple and quick and easy tag to create, but again following the same theme of patriotism. So Tim's celebrating the 4th of July, I'm just celebrating everything British. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up so YouTube know that you'd like to see more from me. And if you haven't subscribed already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and see you again real soon.